welcome to the BOSA Foods Test Kitchen. My name is Julia Lombardo, and today we're taking a special trip to Spain and making a traditional paella recipe. Today we are going to be using some specialty foods found here at BOSA. We have this line that's called Spania, which is imported from Spain, and it carries all of the essentials to make the perfect paella. We have a Valencian rice, which is one of the main ingredients for paella. We also have the essential spices of the paella. We have a smoked paprika and a saffron. Then we also have a little mix here that carries a little bit of everything. Then we're going to have a half a pound of deveined and cleaned prawns, 1 onion chopped small dice, some garlic paste. We have half a cup of white wine. We have about a tablespoon of cilantro, that's going to be for garnish. We have a pound of mild chorizo cut in dices, 2 cups of the Valencian rice, a tablespoon of paprika, and a pinch of saffron. And then we're also going to use about 4 cups of chicken stock, 1 tablespoon of parsley chopped, a pound of chicken, thighs and legs with the bone in and the skin on, chopped into 2-inch cubes. And then we have a pound of fresh mussels. And of course, salt and pepper. First, we're going to bloom the saffron. So these are saffron threads here, and it's one of the most expensive spices in the world, so you only need a little bit. We're going to put it in some warm water. This is half a cup of warm water, and we're just gonna wanna let that infuse that water because we're gonna use that for the stock in a minute. An essential piece of equipment for this paella is a paella pan. This is really important because it's got a wide surface area, and that's going to make our paella cook in one even layer and not have things kind of piled up on top, because we want to have a nice crispy rice. So make sure you get a paella pan, and the bigger, the better. First, we're going to saute our chorizo. I have the paella pan preheated here. I'm going to add a little bit of oil. Now you don't need to add too much because the chorizo has a lot of natural oils in it. Put that in there. Make sure not to skip this step because it's essential in building that flavor profile. All of the oils and spices from the chorizo are going to render out, and then we're going to use that to make our stock and to brown our chicken. So once the oil has gotten a little bit of a golden orange color, you'll know the chorizo is done. And we're going to just put that to the side, and then we're going to brown our chicken. I prefer using chicken that has the skin on and bone in. I find it just gives it a lot more flavor, but of course it's your preference. You can use chicken breast if you'd like. And you want to make sure you get a nice caramelization on the chicken. Next, we're going to season with some salt and pepper. And then give that a few more minutes. This looks really good. We're ready to add our onions. If you found that there's not enough oil in the pan, feel free to add some extra oil. Now this is going to saute for about a minute. Next, we're going to add our garlic paste. I'm going to add some to the spatula here, about a tablespoon, and we're just going to brown that right in the center. Next, we're going to deglaze with our white wine. Parsley is going in. We're going to add in our saffron that's been blooming with the water. And then we're going to add our smoked paprika. We want to make sure that once we add this, there's enough liquid in there so that it doesn't burn. If you burn your paprika, you'll be left with a really bitter paella. Now we're going to add our chicken stock. We're going to be adding 4 cups. I have a little bit of extra here, just in case the rice starts to look dried out. Okay, now we're going to wait for this to come back to the boil. And what we're doing is we're making an infused stock for the rice to cook. A little bit about the rice we're using today. We're using a Spanish rice from Valencia. It is specific for using paella. It's a short grain, starchy rice, and it's going to absorb all of those flavors really nicely and stay relatively firm. Now, once we've added our rice, we want to give it a little stir just so it can mingle with everyone. And then we're not going to want to stir it after that. We're going to turn this down to simmer for about 20 minutes. You want to see that there's at least a ½ inch of liquid above the rice to make sure the rice cooks. You'll know that the rice is ready to add the seafood when it's absorbed majority of the liquid, and you can see that there's just a few pockets there where the bubbles are coming through. So we're going to add our shellfish first. Today we're using fresh mussels, but you can really use whatever shellfish or seafood that you would like. Lobsters work great, clams, scallops, really whatever your preference is. I like using mussels though. They add a really nice color, and I personally just prefer mussels, so going with those today. Once the mussels have been arranged on top, we're going to cover the paella with some tin foil so that those mussels can steam. And now for the unveiling. Wow, that looks beautiful. And now lastly, we're going to add our prawns. Again, just at the top, spread out so they cook evenly. This is going to take about 5 minutes to cook the prawns. So we definitely want to make sure we do it at the end so the prawns don't get overcooked. And now we're going to put the lid back on. Our last step is going to be to let this rest for 10 minutes, and then we're ready to eat. That smells so good. 2 more finishing touches. We're going to add some fresh lemon wedges. We're just going to scatter those on top for a little bit of citrus, and then we're going to garnish with some chopped cilantro. And there you have it, a beautiful and simple paella. To make this recipe even easier, be sure to purchase the BOSA Foods Paella Kit. It comes with all the essentials you need to make the perfect paella. It comes with the pan, the rice, the spices, and the olive oil. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time from the BOSA Foods Test Kitchen.